it's wrong to criticize leaders of the church, even if the criticism is true.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. Well, I was listening to Thinker of Thoughts. He's doing a live stream thing on YouTube, and it was about Apostle Oaks back in 1993 in October, where he had a public debate, which he was hoping was supposed to be confidential and secret. You know, that secret combination of Oaks. But yeah, hundreds of thousands of people learned about it. Except for me. I was up in Canada at that time, I think, or I was at Rick's. Depends on, well, it's October. I can't remember. Anyway, but Oaks clearly justifies lying, doing all the legalese to justify lying. And it's dark and it's scary. Oaks is a very evil man. But yeah, I can't find the talk. There's a dialogue PDF by Clay Chandler, but he's not helpful. He doesn't reference the PDF that Jonathan is going by. He has the whole talk from Oaks, and they're going over it line by line. But I was thinking at first, when I saw it previewing, that he had finally learned about Oaks's talk to Spain. If you remember, about a week ago, last Sunday, yeah, so it was 21st? 14th, wow, even almost 2 weeks ago. Why are they saying 1 week? But I did the video. LDS prophet Dallin H. Oaks gives secret combination talk. And it was briefly a breakout video. Kind of surprised me. Because I had found out, as I was trying to see it on YouTube, that the church was linking everybody to, it was private. All the others I could see, Oaks was private. They even had Razband, I think it was, earlier that day. Could see his. Oaks was private. Oaks was before the Razband one earlier. And so, yeah, it got attention. And then, sure enough, several days later, I checked on it again, and it was available to watch. And so I thought that Jonathan was referring to the talk now that it was exposed to the world. Because I mentioned in this video, Oaks is notorious for creating doctrine outside of conference and inside. He just creates his own doctrine for people, such as this talk on how it's okay to lie and deceive people when it's for a good cause and for the church. And no, you get thrust down to hell, Oaks. And one of the things that caught my attention was about polygamy. As I already knew, polygamy didn't stop with the 1890 manifesto. But they, in this talk, Oakes confesses, yeah, it was still being practiced in America too. He doesn't come right out and say it. He uses the legalese speak that you got to pay attention to every word and how it is used in grammatical sentence structure. That's what I keep warning you guys about. Don't get caught up with their distractions of code names and key names. Oh, Jesus loves salvation. No. Look between the lines. Look for the ands and the that's. Because that's how Mormons got fooled on R-rated movies. Don't watch R-rated movies, and all of a sudden Mormons go, oh no, we can't watch R-rated movies. He kept going. So, yeah, I did that video of needing to watch R-rated movies, which was... There it is. Mormons watching R-rated movies to cure Mormonism. That only had 48. So that was just an average one. But I then had, in my search, came across Mormon Think, knowing that he doesn't provide PDFs. Sometimes he'll provide links. Unfortunately, I haven't come across the Oakes talk from 1993. Instead, I find out that he talks about how the history of the church was 60% not from Joseph Smith. That Brigham Young ordered the completion of it. And it was like in 56, I believe I saw, when it was finally completed. And so much of the history is all made up. And yeah, it goes over how it was Nephi, not Moroni, who visited Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith said his name was Nephi. But this part, after he shows that the history of the church had been not written by Joseph. And I've been telling you that the Book of Mormon was not written by Joseph either. It was not translation by the gift and power of God. It was not rocks in a hat. It was not created off the top of his mind from reading Captain Kidd books. Joseph is not the author of the Book of Mormon. And I would hope that Mormon Think knows this, that it's Sidney Rigdon who's the major author of the Book of Mormon. Because the Tanners have known, and the guys who did the linguistic research, they know. That's where I have the picture of what parts of the Book of Mormon Sidney Rigdon is known to have been a part of. And so it's kind of disturbing to see number 10 in this category under lying. It says Joseph made a career of retrofitting earlier revelations to make it appear as if church doctrines and practices were revealed by God incrementally, logically, and sequentially as described by the official history of the LDS Church. He and apologists refer to this process of revising God's written word as continuing revelation. Others call it theological innovation, revelations of convenience, or creative imagination. Now, do you see what they're already trying to... Smith also made contradictory revisions to the original doctrines in the Book of Mormon as his theological views evolved. He has no reference for this. Shame on you, Mormon think. But he does say, 1 Nephi 3, pages 25, 26, 32 in the 1830 original version, compare changes to current Book of Mormon version in 1 Nephi 11, 18, 21, 23, and 40. So did you catch that, or do I need to repeat myself? Joseph Smith did not write the Book of Mormon. So Joseph Smith didn't make changes to the Book of Mormon either. In fact, I've told you that Brigham Young presented a new edition of the Book of Mormon, and Joseph Smith rejected it and said, put it back the way it was originally. Joseph then was murdered, and Brigham Young brought out his changed edition. And witnesses were added at the back of that book. Our whole thing about witnesses. I did that video too. Doesn't have the same type font. And so, this is my frustration. Not just because YouTube has been ordered by the church to censor me. They can't ban my channel because I don't violate their policies. I never do. But I don't know why they can't just shut me down. What am I going to do about it? They banned me. I can call the FBI. They don't seem to act. Allow crime to get away with crime. As the rioters are getting away with their crime now. Always go for the leaders first. We learned that from the Revolutionary War. Or from Mel Gibson's The Patriot. Always go for the leaders first. Because the rest, the followers, the soldiers, they don't have a clue what to do now. The leadership is gone. They have no leader. You don't work your way up. Because the top guys always get away with things. And so, again, this lying for the Lord is clear. The church lied to us as Mormons, letting us believe that Joseph Smith wrote the Joseph Smith history. When 60%, so that's only one book, one volume out of the 7. A little more into the second volume. That's it. And the good one is volume 6, I think. That's where the King Follett Discourse is, I think. Could be in 7, but I think it's 6. Can't remember now. And it's all packed. Because if you remember, I was given a death threat by orders of the church. Another one. So I still have yet to unpack. But as the way things are going, I don't know if I should. And so how do I get it across to Mormons that the church is lying to us, and even though they've come out and confessed to lying, they're still lying? with their revisionist history. It's still a lie. And how do I get across to ex-Mormons that this revisionist history is still a lie? As much as it sounds awesome to destroy the church and Joseph Smith and expose him as a rapist, to the dialogue guy, he confesses that Joseph Smith raped the Heber C. Kimball's daughter, 15-year-old daughter. But it's Heber C. Kimball's daughter, and she wrote it in her journal in 1886. So, wouldn't it be fun to trash the church for Joseph Smith raping 15-year-olds? But when you understand Heber C. Kimball, and you understand it's his daughter, and then you understand it was 1886, a whole bunch of red flags should be popping up for everybody. But this Mormon and Clay, oh, well, she said it, I guess it must be true. Really? Is that to apologize? Not apologize. Reason with unreasonable fallacy. The title is too long, so I can't use this title. But Mormons make it very clear that if it's not their way, it's the highway, and it's the highway to hell. Oakes makes it very clear. We're going to lie to you. This is where faith promoting only came about. Is that all sorts of people in all different fields were saying lies, untruths, and the real truths, sort of, were coming out. And so the leaders convinced Mormons only listen to faith-promoting things. If it talks negatively about Joseph Smith and the leaders of the church and the church itself, it's not faith-promoting, it's of the devil. Oh, truth is now of the devil. Okay. But again, you can't just assume that what you're being told is the truth. I still need to do the video for you on how to study church history. Setting up person, date, event, and place, and then include evidence. So, for example, Sidney Rigdon is the author of the Book of Mormon. That's evidence. That's a fact. The question is, how did he do it? When did he do it? Where did he do it? What's the connection to others to get him to do it? That's what you now need to figure out. We know he did it. Now we got to figure out all those questions so that we can establish the real history. I've already done it, but that's what you guys need to be taught how to do. It's clear that Mormon think needs to be taught how to do. So, now, just for any of you who are watching, which are very few these days,